So did you introduce?
Yeah, of course.
Well, hii ni Bwana Spoti Family YouTube channel, si ndio?
Spoti Family YouTube channel.
Sasa to followers wa Bwana Spoti Family YouTube channel, mimi ni Peter Okoth. Naitwa Peter Okoth. Yes, Peter Okoth. No, there's nothing much now. Yes, Peter Okoth. No, there's nothing much now. Sorry? Yes, Peter Okoth. No, there's nothing much now. Yes, Peter. Yes.
So, Koro, so now tunataka kuongelea stories za football. Kumekuwa na a lot that has been happening kwa the world of football hii wiki. We experience more and more drama, zingine zimekuwa tragic, na pia tunataka kupitia pia FKF na Kenyan Premier League vile inaendelea.
Okay.
So maybe Peter ukianza kuambia watu hapa Kenya Premier League una support timu gani?
Kenya Premier League bwana, mimi ama Gor Mahia fan. Gor Mahia fan. Well, I used to support Chemelil Football Club. Nimelelewa Chemelil. Part of my primary school days, I used to stay in Chemelil. So kulikuwa na Chemelil Football Club. So as always, charity begins at home.
And how did you switch?
No. I loved Chemelil by virtue that I was there. But emotionally, I was always with Gor Mahia. So when Gor Mahia could come to Chemelil complex wanacheza na Chemelil, of course I would be homegrown in Chemelil. But now when I'm with Chemelil here, Chemelil na host Tusker, Mathare, so on zinakuja, I would always still support Chemelil here to win that match. But the league, popote Gor Mahia iko, that's where my heart would be. Up until now, Chemelil ilikuwa relegated because of financial issues, players could not be paid and everything. So situation just deteriorated in Chemelil and they could no longer play up to the league. Nowadays I'm more fun.
So what you mean is that if Chemelil had the potential to win the trophies, you could be a Chemelil fan instead of Gor Mahia?
No, acha nisiweke hivyo. You see, you find yourself in a situation in which how do I put it? Uko mahali, and then there's the local football club of that particular area. So, in essence, you are part and parcel of the process of that footballing ambayo inaendelea hapo. But then elsewhere, it's like cheating in football. You know, people who are in marriage would cheat. Yeah. So your mind is elsewhere, your heart is elsewhere, and you mean well, even for this local club that is here. But you mean way much better. You see, during that time, Gor Mahia was also, you see, the time ya Blackberry Jojo Diambo, and alikuwa ametoka through game. He has just joined Gor Mahia. Teddy Akumu ndiye alikuwa ametoka sijini St Anthony, ndiye amejoin Gor Mahia. Then there was Zabulon Otieno, offensive right. We had Ibrahim Kitawi. No, you had Julius Owino. And of course, goalkeeper wa Jaugunja, Jerry Otieno. Jerry Onyango. So there was so much about Gor Mahia at that particular time, because also it was a point in which PSCC, we were now starting to get married into football. Yeah, so somehow I just found myself loving Gor Mahia up until today.
And you guys have been doing really nice as we can see in our Kenyan Premier League.
We are doing.
Are you getting me?
Nakupata? Atunasema we are doing what?
Yeah, Gor Mahia has been doing very well.
Yes.
Unanipata?
Yes.
Unasema Gor Mahia wamefanya vizuri sana as far as titles are concerned.
Yes.
So right now mko na 21 titles, ndio?
Yes.
Na mwenye anawafuata ako na
I think it's FC. FC has 13 or something. 12 or 13.
See, ni a big gap. Kuna time umeenda kama you guys have dominated the Kenyan Premier League. What do you think is the difference that other teams are not doing that your club is doing? As in, nini Gor Mahia wanafanya yenye these other clubs are not doing?
I think firstly, Gor has a huge fan base. And this huge fan base, it's either an accidental fan base that, not even accident, it's an influential fan base in the sense, number one, you see kuna mtu ambaye anapenda mpira na kuna mtu ambaye anajua mpira. So this fan base has been critical in two ways. One, they've just found themselves supporting Gor Mahia because other people are supporting Gor Mahia, and the spirit of others supporting Gor Mahia imehuva ikakuja kwao. So they've also just finding themselves supporting Gor Mahia. That's number one. Number two, there are those people whom, in every way, in every sense, Gor Mahia just makes sense to them when they support football. So the type of play Gor Mahia plays marries with their love for football. That's one, the huge fan base. Number two, you look at the strike of Gor Mahia. Gor Mahia started revamping 2010, when actually the then coach was Chemelil Football Club, Zedekia Ziko Otieno. He left Chemelil for Gor Mahia. Now, this was the time ambapo now this was the time.
Excuse me, kuna vile tukupati kidogo una sound ukipotea.
Oh, what do I do, bwana? Me, I feel like I'm okay.
Do this, put your phone on silent, because when the message comes in, the vibration in
Okay. Yes. So another thing on that point is it was the revamping of Gor Mahia. And that one I can say it started when now Zedekia Ziko Otieno joined Gor Mahia from Chemelil. During that time up until today, Gor Mahia has never gotten it wrong in terms of positioning. Because remember that was the time Nyangweso was the then Ulinzi coach. Remember when Kahata alizamisha Gor Mahia kuchukua cup. It was played here in Nyayo. So it was either if Gor drew, Ulinzi would win in Shakaturi huko Old Trafford. Gor was playing against Thika the last match of the Premier League.
The one that 1-1.
The 1-1. You remember that 1-1?
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. Now, from that moment, you're revamping that Gor did. Now, ilianza na the technical bench, and Gor went now into more of the young tax. And it has been that way up until today. Now, that is that, but the superficial bit of it that I think has gotten Gor Mahia to where it is. I think the most important thing imekuwa the huge fan base for me. And then any other thing has just fallen into place. But otherwise, I think there's more that meets the eye than just where we think we are. Because we are really too far. You compare, kwa hii Kenya, we are very good. But you see, football is beyond local competition.
Yeah.
Right? As at now, Gor Mahia should be a very serious continental club. Today, you we unajua Al Ahly, you know Esperance, you know Chipolopolo, you know Yanga, you know Simba, etc., etc. I doubt if football fans were hizo countries know Gor Mahia the way we know their football clubs.
Why do you think it's this way?
management. Management, and I think
Uh-huh.
management is everything because management would attract a lot of things. They would attract investors, they would attract sponsors, they would attract, sobriety around supporting the club in itself. Remember, there was a time in which SportPesa, the initial support SportPesa ilianza kwa hii Premier League ilikuwa ina support KPL, ilikuwa inaonyesha matches, ilikuwa imesupport Gor Mahia, ilikuwa imesupport AFC Leopards, right?
Yeah.
Until SportPesa wakacha, they left supporting any of the club. They dropped also supporting running the affairs of the league, and it was now renamed to Tusker Premier League. Tusker took over, so it was now called TPL, Tusker Premier League. We had lost the sponsorship kwa league, we had lost the sponsorship ya clubs. It was that way. But you see, this one was also coming because what SportPesa was saying, number one, Gor Mahia management, leave alone the fan. For me, I think they used the fan as a scapegoat as to why now they never wanted to support Gor Mahia anymore. I think these people were dishing money, and money was not being paid in a manner ambayo ingefaa ipewe kwa players. Because at the end of the day, you see, these guys are also, when I give you money, even if you are not unless you are not friends, but if we are friends, I'm giving you money so that we maintain our relationship, we maintain our friendship, right? Whatever thing I'm gaining out of the goodwill I'm extending to you is the conscience of our relationship, of our friendship. So we maintain. So when these people come to sponsor clubs, it's not like they don't have anywhere else to sponsor their to put their
To
money
invest their
into.
money, yeah.
Yes, it is that they have, but they have chosen the best risk before them, ni sponsor clubs, right? And they're actually looking for returns. Kwa hii returns can be one. Gor Mahia is a big club. Just hapo mbele ya jezi kuangalia tu jezi hata ya Kahata Maya nani imeandikwa SportPesa. See, now I go start betting.
Yeah.
See, they're gaining in that regard, right? And so and so
Yeah.
forth. So I think it was a management issue that made SportPesa to leave club, to leave FC Leopards. And of course, our FKF, you know what that office is.
But
Barry Otieno and the rest.
can you look at it at this angle? Maybe SportPesa came to make their face familiar to this country, after which they were satisfied and decided to leave.
But they're back now. See, right now they're back.
Yes, but they are back, but not like initially. You see, the initial SportPesa took over the league, and most of the activities were sponsored by them. Right now they're
Yes.
back, but they are sponsoring a little club like Muranga, I think, Muranga Seal.
Yes.
How many clubs are SportPesa sponsoring right now in the Premier League? Less than 2.
Mm-hmm.
So mimi naona kama walikuja ku sell an agenda which eventually will happen vile wanakuwa plan, and they thought it was now to leave at that point.
So how was that going to help them get anything? Now, look at it this way. Those are investors, right?
Yeah.
While investing, you don't invest. Maybe that was a short-term goal, the way you are purporting it. But to me, I don't think that was the thing. To me, I think that whatever thing that they had projected to achieve at that particular time was not coming through. And they had also projected a situation in which, had they continued to stay, it was going to be far much worse than anything good to them. So it was better for them to leave, because if you're actually saying that they just come to sell the agenda, why wouldn't they? Because at that time Tusker was not doing badly off. Why wouldn't they use even Tusker, right? Or even Mathare? Because Mathare had not been relegated then. It was doing very well, right? Why don't they use any other club apart from these other ones so that we'll continue? To me, I think maybe it could be what you are saying, but to me, I think it is their projection on what they thought they could get and then it was not just coming out, and then they just left. Or even so, they could have si wangeacha Gor Mahia then and then wawache FC Leopards, but waendelee na Premier League, run Premier League, because Premier League is more inclusive. It had all the 16 teams, right?
Yeah.
So every team could have had a share of the sport pesa, and then we continue that way. So to me it's not yeah, that walikuja wakapata agenda, then why are they back right here? An investor will still be an investor, whether in Europe, whether in Africa, whether everywhere. Pesa ni tamu saa zote.
I was thinking that them coming back right now, maybe they want to take over the Kenyan Premier League. That's why they chose Moranga Seal. So Moranga Seal, it's a local club that you can easily manage. Kwa sababu wao already wako na stadium yao. No, they have a piece of land. They can do better. If you compare them to these other big clubs like Gor Mahia, you know, kusponsor Gor Mahia club it's a very hectic job.
It's hectic, but if things were structured, you see, Gor Mahia does not have. I think they have structures in on paper, right? On paper, those structures are very good to them, but I don't really think that those structures are practical, because you look at a situation in which, if the structures are there, number one, how come they don't have even their own stadium? That to me is very key, because you look around, even Tusker today, when Nyayo na Kasarani bado zilikuwa zimefungwa, Tusker would still go back to their home ground and you'll play them over there, right?
But what's the capacity of Tusker's ground? It's about 200 maybe 300 fans.
Jack, the issue is not even capacity. The issue is even where you train your players. You see, Gor Mahia hires training ground.
That be debating about clubs really need Kenyan Premier League clubs need a training ground first and foremost before we go to the stadiums and whatever.
Yes.
The players first need their training ground and household. Like they need to camp in one area.
It's a 50-50 thing for me, because number one, you see, you can't force them to be staying. You see, we are talking about freedom of players. Kama see game time, people would be living from different places. You should give that freedom. Wewe toka mali, it's discipline. Let me put it that way. Popote unapoishi, if training is 8, everybody is there by 8. We start from there. But you see, sometimes me naishi huku Jogoo Road. But our football is very pathetic, Jack. I hate seeing Gor Mahia bus. Unaenda tao Gor Mahia bus in a drop players. Do you know we should be in a situation in which salary that players are being paid is very much enough for them to actually own their own cars? How many players in this country even have the app of their own that can drive to training ground, that can drive to their own stadiums?
Only legends who had already left the football are the ones having cars.
So how is football helping those who are active, who are still active?
So that's why I'm putting this frame this way. Eh? This is what we have to do. These players should camp in one area. Like you just said, I hate to see Gor Mahia bus dropping players right, left, and center. After every game, they are dropped. Before the game, they are picked up. So that's not necessary. These guys, like Kariobangi Sharks, they live in Kariobangi South area. If you play for Gor Mahia, and the training ground is maybe in Jogoo Road, as you've said, every player of Gor Mahia should be required to live within Jogoo Road area. It will be easier for the club to operate in that manner.
How?
rather than
Because
but Kariobangi Sharks, their home is Kariobangi. So their players live within Kariobangi, and most of them are camped in Kariobangi South. So to access the players is very easy. Remember the situation where Firat, the Kenyan coach, will not find Austin Odhiambo,
yes.
and he had to reach Austin Odhiambo's brother. What if Gor Mahia players could be living in one camp, it will be easier for Gor Mahia to locate Austin Odhiambo's location rather than the coach to use the brother of the midfielder to find him.
Mm-mm. Jack,
So
do you know the advantage?
my thinking is, if you're playing for Manchester, you don't live in London.
Of course, that's too far. Manchester town and London too far.
That's what I'm talking about. If you're playing for Kariobangi Sharks, what are you doing in Kahawa?
But
If
you
you're
see,
playing for
I think it is just a matter of principle and conscience that if at all you are playing in a club and then you know where your home ground is or your training ground is and you will always meet Hapo, then it is just upon you to make the necessary arrangement that you be closer, you be nearer. It should just be done as a motivation to everyone, not as a mandatory thing. Because you see,
well,
our lives do not really rotate around football. Football, yes, is what we do ili tusaidie tuweke kitu kwa meza. But we also have another life to live. You get? So I think I should just be in a situation in which I can take care of all this. My life, my personal life, and my football life that actually helps me to take care of also my personal life.
there is something I'm not putting clear. So let me just put it clear so that you can understand what I'm talking about. What I'm trying
Yes.
to bring in is a football camp. So this is our camp. This is not my place. This is not my home.
Camp.
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
camp. This is a camp where during the football period I stay in. But when I'm off duties, I go to my place. Like the soldiers live in the barracks. You understand? But they also have their homes.
Yes.
They can visit.
Yes.
They can visit their home whenever they like, whenever they are free.
Yes.
But they are
Yes.
mostly
Sorry.
destined to stay in the barracks. So also
Yes.
footballers, I would like to see them live in one area. But, you know,
Now, for how long would you want them to live in one area?
during the process of the football time, during the pitch.
So let me ask you, Jack.
We have a game on weekend. We are training until Thursday. On Thursday we take up and we come back on Friday light training. So it means that from Wednesday we should be together as a team.
So from Wednesday to when? To
maybe
after the match.
After the match, yeah. Then they break up. Of course, they'll have some 1 or 2 days off. Then they'll come back for training, for light trainings.
But you see, if you say so, then it only makes sense to the extent that we should be meeting on Wednesday if we have a match on Saturday. Then what happens on Monday and Tuesday? I should be living wherever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You should be living wherever. But
now
what I'm trying to bring is Gor Mahia has to play a match today, maybe on Saturday at Danora Stadium. Are you getting me?
Sorry, I think it's these things, but sorry.
It's okay.
Yes.
You're right now?
Yeah, I'm good.
So what I'm trying to say is, my point is, there is no need for Gor Mahia to play on Saturday, maybe let's say at Nyayo Stadium or Danora Stadium, and then you see the bus everywhere along Nairobi trying to pick players, and the match is at 3 p.m. That's what.
Well, what I've seen, what I've actually seen. Can you hear me? Yeah, what I've actually seen happening is you say a day before the match, whether the match is is Saturday or Sunday, a day before the match, players gather at a place, in one place, right? Now, this one just confirms to what you're actually saying. What I normally know is that they are never given that long period of time for them together, because they train and then a day before the match, now they go into the camp. They go to the camp, sorry, and then they get from the camp to the match the following day in the morning, or depending na time ya hiyo ball, yeah, the match. So that one ndio najua, because you see when you also put it on Wednesday wakuwe kwa camp, Thursday wakuwe kwa camp, Friday is camp, then Saturday they have the match. You see, this is expense. Tell me which club in this country can take care of that expense comfortably, if not Tusker?
So if we have to play football, then
Or maybe
we
Kenya
will
Police.
need to look for a way of taking these expenses. Kwa sababu
No, you see those expenses. Before let's get the right structures. For me, I think we need to be honest. Honesty. These club chairmen, club CEOs, team managers, coaches, but it's a whole rotten system, I can tell. It's a whole rotten system with a lot of nepotism. You see, my brother used to be in FC Leopard. You get to easy kuchukua watu easy. Recruitment, during recruitment.
Yeah.
Easy selection. You get to a situation in which the team manager has his own people that he wants to take, right? And he wants the coach now to use the people he's taken. The coach also has his own people, and he says he's the person who will be fielding the players, not the team manager. It starts from there. And now there's always the referral from the club chairman. Huyu ni mtu wangu, huyu nichukulie. You understand? You see, so, in that kind of... Huh?
You see, I understand your point, but where do you think that road start from? Because that is the highest level that we can see the road, but it has to start from somewhere. Where do you think it starts from?
It's interest, and I don't think people have ile hati ya you know in this country we don't see football as a commercial business. We treat football as a by the way kind of a thing that you should only play football if you have free time, that your time is dedicated elsewhere. Then you get your free time and you dedicate it now to football. You can't treat football as a secondary issue and then want it to be the primary thing of people. That's number one thing. Because even how many wewe siku gani ukaona Kasarani ama Nyayo ikajaa Harambee Stars ikicheza? If it's not 2008 to 2009 wakati wa Francis Kimanzi, when Harambee Stars was doing really well, up until now there's nothing like that. You get? So it starts with us, our soul, our desire, right? The other time you are just academy. I don't know how things happen. You see these academies, bana, the structures are very pointless in this country. You see, for you to be a good footballer, you don't just wake up from anywhere and then you are pronounced a good footballer. But you must be coached. You must be guided. You have to have a godfather who tells you what to do and what not to do. Then there should be a way that has been made. Yeah. And then you make it. You get? And then people, you have to treat football kama venye unaweza vaa shati iko na kolo umepiga pasi unaenda kazi. Because anyway, it takes everything. If you're a footballer, you can train in the morning, right? 2-3 hour session. You come back, you're tired. You would need rest. Some teams would go back for training in the evening, right? And you do that 5 days a week. On weekend, you spare the whole day. You have a match. Then Sunday you rest. Monday you come for refreshment
trainings,
and then you. So 7 days a week. If your football is taken away, that is what you will be eating. That's what you will be sleeping on. That's what you will be everything. Right?
You see, on the scouting problems and the selections, it starts from right now we have NSL leagues going on, and people have only come to realize that these matches have been so much good at the end of the season. Like sahi last weekend niliona watu walikuwa wameflated Dandora wakiona Mofa playing against, ilikuwa timu gani hiyo?
I didn't watch it.
Timu ya Olunga ilikuwa inacheza na timu fulani hapo hivyo, I don't know which club, but wale walikuwa wamejaa crowd sana. So NSL, these matches are not being broadcasted. For a team like Gor Mahia, for a team like FC Leopards to get a good player, they need scouting. Whatever scouting does is to go and watch such matches and spot a football and say, this one, we need him in that position. Then you come talk to the board. The board will not go to watch that kid. The board will watch the clips of the kid. Like let's take for example, the Manchester scouts saw Anthony play for Ajax. They went and watched Anthony and they said, we need a winger, and we've seen one in Ajax. So when they came to the board, they showed the board the clips of Anthony, and the board agreed that this one, we will need him. You understand?
But these people are very busy with me, sorry.
Don't worry. So I was explaining to you something. As the scout has to go to the ground, spot a player, and come and share with the board. So the board will only watch the clips of the player, make their decision whether to sign or not. But here is Kenya. How do these big clubs keep on spotting people? High school matches are not televised. NSL matches are not televised. No, you can review the matches. We don't have any place to review the matches. After they are done, they are done. So it's even mimi ndio napanga kikosi, ndaweka mwenye nataka.
Jean-Jacques Rousseau, you see, there was a historian whom labeled Africans as half educated, because walikuwa nasema in our minds there are 3 dots, but we can't reason out quite well. So you see, Jack, on that point alone, you see where you've been in high school, you've been in such situation. Actually, I think you're actually talking from personal experience.
Yeah.
There have been moments in which, you see, these scouts, me, I don't regard any scout in this country. I actually see these scouts as unaona ukienda kupanda gari hapa Machakos country bus, huyu mtu anabana kuvuta, there are 3 people voting you before ufike kwa gari, and then everybody will be given CG 20 kuleta mtu mmoja. You see, those are the football scouts we have in this country. And you know where that is coming from? You know, you talk about Manchester United, you talk about these other big clubs. But for me, the main thing, the core thing is structure. No team in this country, I can tell you, is even generating pesa yake binafsi, wacha pesa ya sponsor, pesa yake binafsi kutoka kwa jezi, any merchandise. You tell me, even Gor Mahia, very big club, you walk in this country everywhere. Every shop wako na jezi ya Gor Mahia. Where do they get these jerseys from? How do you expect Gor Mahia to build in such an environment, to have money in such an environment? But teams that have structures, their shops are controlled. You will never go to Peter Koth shops and Peter Koth shop and he's not a fan of Gor Mahia, ama he's not a business person registered with Gor Mahia, selling Gor Mahia food merchandise. You get? Everything has to be regulated. That's the only way that we can have a channel for everything. Because you talk about even serious, you see, those scouts, they're professional scouts. Professional, they've studied football. They know what football is. They know the quality of a player a certain club needs. And then they'll do that. They'll be contacted. They will go sit down, discuss, present everything. Then they get paid. Right? In this country, tell me how it is done. Tutaenda hata maisa hapa niokote tu mtu yote niko na coach ako Sharks, wewe nichukulie kijana wangu. Nipatie punch wamemaliza.
That's the thing I'm trying to bring in. Kwa sababu even Firat anatoanga hapo wachezaji wenye analeta kwa team. Right now amechukua karibu half of the team amechukua from overseas. Ameacha African talent kwa sababu gani? Games azuchi.
But it's sorry. You see, sijui ni engineer ama engineer ama whoever Firat. This guy, his problem is another thing altogether. The problem to me is not even him. The problem to me is not even him. The problem to me is the people above him.
Who are the people above him? The coach. Who are the people above him? Akina Nicky Mwendwa.
Bwana, me personally, I've always had a feeling that Nick Mwendwa, I can't substantiate it, but I always have a feeling that Nick Mwendwa has huge influence on that Harambee Stars selection.
Of course, there's a time they even called Patilo Omonto. We don't know how they arrived at that point.
Yes.
Kuna wasawito tu kwa club na ujue wanatoka wapi.
Yes. In fact, at that time, Patilo Moto, when Sharks gained the entrance into the Premier League, Patilo Moto ali for him to get the limelight, I think Sharks ilimaliza number 1 kwa NSL, number 1 or number 2 or something like that.
Number 1 kwa NSL.
And then he was signed, I think by FC Leopards or something. Or I don't know.
He was signed by FC Leopards as a number 6 DM.
Now, during that time, everyone was, even me wherever I was, because I'd heard about him. I'd seen him for quite some time he play. Everyone got convinced. And then somehow this guy went out of limelight. Somehow too. Mm-hmm. Now when he's gone out of the limelight, but he's brought back to the limelight at the level of the National Football Club. He's in Harambee Stars.
I cannot remember which year was that, but I think it's somewhere down in 2013-2014, where 7 players from Kariobangi Sharks were into the national squad.
And everyone complained. How come?
And everyone complained. And before that, Nick Mwendwa used to be a Kariobangi Shark coaches.
But right now he's the chairman.
So we thought that here that is not quite good.
It is just the favoritism we are talking about anyway. But that favoritism is everywhere. Even Gary Southgate to England, people are slamming him on some of the selections he does. Anyway, those cries would be there. But you see, even if those cries are there, the results will tell it all. The results will tell it all. We can't cry as fans that there's foul play in the selection, but if these people who've been given chance, they're proving it right, and everyone is getting convinced, then there's no need of actually crying anymore, right? But if the cry is actually being equated to the result, then what is that? Right? And then Firat is being called on press conference. He gives issues the weather, they went late. Bullshit, bana. You can't give that guy any kind of attention.
Firat also said that some players lacked visas to travel outside the country.
How is that? But how? What is the technical bench? Me, I've never understood. By the way, I've never understood. How do you get to a situation in which a team of 25, selection of 25, or if you've even selected 18, you travel in bits. First 5 goes today, the second 5 goes tomorrow. Then you call yourself a team. How are you managing this? How are you putting it as a team? It is no longer a team. You've segmented it. You've divided it. Where is the team spirit there? How do you even carry team talk? The team spirit, where is it?
There is none.
Yeah, so to me, it's a whole crooked system. Right from the national level.
There's this conversation that clubs. let's talk about the clubs. Kidogo, there is this conversation coming up that clubs should be owning their own stadiums. What's your take on that?
To be honest,
Like
100%.
Gor Mahia has been playing Kenyan Premier League ever since 19 something, and they're up to date.
1960,
They don't have a club.
but I can tell you, I support 100%. In fact, we are very late into this discussion.
Uh-huh.
We would have started na this one. You see, when we want to, Banachak, we cannot be that we only know of Nyayo, we only know of Kasarani. Right now we are using Machakos. Once in a while we get to Bukungu. These are national stadiums. These are county stadiums to some extent. So you want to tell me that it is cheaper going to these stadiums every weekend to pay 10,000 or 30,000 for just 2 hours. You host your match there and then you leave. You pay for training ground. Gor Mahia pays for training ground. Hiyo ndio kitu uchungu hata. Before they used to train here at Camp Toyo. I'm just near Camp Toyo.
I can correct you on something. Gor Mahia default.
When you say in default, what do you mean? Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but from a distance.
Oh, when you say that Gor Mahia pays their playing ground in default, what do you mean?
They used to train in Camp Toyo.
Yes.
The charges used to be 5,000 every. I don't know, was it every week or every?
No, 5,000 for 2 hours.
It was 5,000 for 2 hours.
Yes, I used to be there. I used to be there in the morning, watch their training. In the evening, watch their training.
Yeah. So these guys, they deliberately defaulted.
Whether
So
they defaulted, you know the reason that they said is that you see Camp Toyoyo was being used as early as 6 a.m. and late into the night. Today there's no ground called Camp Toyoyo. It is exhausted. The turf is the same as City Stadium. So for Gor Mahia to leave Camp Toyoyo, they started saying that they are exposed. Actually, that is the word. That they are exposed. Right? Camp Toyoyo is not a good training ground for them.
So let's come to think of it, eh?
Mm.
So Gor Mahia on Camp Toyoyo, they defaulted because it was exhausted, eh? Right? Are you getting me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So you're saying here Camp Toyoyo during those days it used to be busy from as early as 6 up to late night as 11 p.m.
Yes.
So all these matches, I want to believe used to pay their 5,000. Another section comes in, they pay themselves another group, another one, and another one until late in the evening. But still, the management of Camp Toyoyo could not maintain their ground.
Yes. Yes.
Are you getting my point? So this means that maintaining a field or a ground is more difficult than hiring.
No. Let me tell you, Jack. You see, let me use this analogy. I don't know whether you'll allow me to use it on this channel, but let me refrain.
Of course, this is a free space.
It's a free space.
It's a free space.
In where you are in dry spell, something like that. Right? And then now you come to it, you know what can happen. Then you don't want to give space. I'm not talking from personal experience anyway. You don't want to give space.
It looks personal, but it's okay, no problem.
The issue is this. People are desperate. Players are desperate in this country. I can tell you I'm a player and I'm not bragging. we suffer every weekend if we want to plan for a match. There are no pitches. So the moment you get one pitch, you want to stick there. You will do everything you can to just stick there, to have that playing time. You understand? So it is not that it is cheaper to not, it is not cheaper not to have your pitch. You get? It is to me, it is lack of priority. Because these people, it is for a match where you look at it this way. When the pitch is not in good state, no one comes there, right? People are elsewhere. The moment the pitch Campto gets into good shape, everyone is there. Even this Dandora, it is just a matter of time. We will get back to where Campto is. You look at City Stadium, it is forgotten, completely forgotten. But that is where, that is the stadium that used to be the darling of this town. You remember even a time that, I don't know whether it was Goromaya or Rambistas that played in the Brazilian lab.
Pitch in Woodley.
Yes. No one is actually going there. Why? Because there's nothing to go, there's nothing worth giving those fields attention. So it is a state of desperation that this country is in when it comes to football. Now, your issue that it is cheaper to have your Jack.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best ways in which football clubs can maintain themselves is through revenue collection. How do you collect revenue as a club? One, get collection. And it has to be strict. Number one, for you to have get collection, you must have your own pitch. You look at Gor Mahia is having FC Leopards or FC Leopards, whichever, they rush to Nyayo or Kasarani. Right? Why can't they take it to Muranga, for example? Because Muranga, it's an open field.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they go to even Chemelil Sports Center? It's a field there, very nice. It is an open field where they will not collect anything. But they are rushing to Nyayo, to these enclosed stadiums for them to collect. It is revenue they are going for. That revenue, it is short-lived. It cannot generate a stadium when every single time you are hiring. The best way to run your affairs, we are in a state in which players in different football clubs, bado zinadai clubs zao. You remember Wellington Ochieng, former Gor Mahia player. He went for inaitwa Access and Recovery Authority or something. So that Gor Mahia use basi yao imlipe pesa. Gor Mahia did not have money. Yes, 2 million. Gor Mahia was owing him 2 million. Why did Kenneth Mugona leave Gor Mahia for police? He's not been paid all his dues. Right? Jack Tuisenge, Medi Kagere, all left because they're not being paid their dues. Where do these people get their dues? And why don't they get these dues to pay their players? You get? But that must be a matter of urgency, matter of priority. Build your stadiums, build your merchandise. Revenue collection will automatically come. No fake receipts.
So that's where I'm coming from. I know stadiums can be good for a club because with stadium, you can generate revenues through merchandise. You can have your shop there. You can have maybe you can run a restaurant, a club restaurant. And also, there are recreational centers. You see, like Kasarani Moi Sports Stadium, there is a swimming pool there. There's a lot going inside a club. When you have a club as a team, you can run so much things. But my opinion is, clubs should first focus on good training grounds because match days they can negotiate deals and come into agreement with maybe state-owned facility. Like I don't want to see the situation where Gor Mahia are playing their home match at Machakos today. Tomorrow they are playing their home match at Moranga in the Sports Pesa Arena, and then the next day they are somewhere else. I want a deal signed. FKF should actually bring a rule where if you are a club and you don't have a field or a place to call home, you sign a deal with a consistent pitch for the whole season. Are you getting me? As in, if Gor Mahia used to play their home matches at City Stadium. So if they decide that this season we are going to play at the City Stadium, then they sign the contract for the whole season. Because we recently saw the competition the other week. It was the other week where Gor Mahia was supposed to play Muhoroni Youth at Kisumu Stadium, and 2 days before the match, it was taken to Muranga. And now Muhoroni Youth could not raise the transfer fee and opted to give them walk-off. You see, those are the kind of things that are letting us down. But if we come to an agreement and say Kasarani Sports Center will be hosting Gor Mahia home matches for the whole season, and players find it easy, and fans will also buy tickets for the whole season. Another thing is the tickets during the match day. Tickets being sold at the gate, it brings a lot of bullshit. Tickets should be sold 3 or 4 days before the game. After 2 days to the game, no ticket should be on the market. You understand?
Yeah, I get your point, but to see,
we only need to have 8 fans watching the game. There is no reason for a stadium hosting more than 50,000 pounds tickets. So clubs should look for fans who pay for the tickets. In that way, we can generate more income.
well, on the issue of the ticket, I agree with you. I can't agree more. That's the only way, actually, we can reduce the amount that is not being collected by these clubs. But you see, the issue is where are they even collecting? Which venues are they collecting? You see, this issue, your first issue of booking a space. You see, it is still on a rental agreement that we will be using this space for 1 year. Let's pick Moi Center Kasarani or Nyayo, for instance, right? If Gor Mahia done that this year, if anything, the last match that Gor Mahia played in Moi Sports Center Kasarani was against Murangasil. I was there. I watched that match. And let's just put that aside. Let's just go by your thought that if they had booked Kasarani or Nyayo to use for this year, then what would have happened? Because we are testing it. These stadiums are not under their full obligation to use, right? These stadia are under the full obligation of their respective management. From time to time, there are national events that those stadia would want to host against the football matches that Gor Mahia would want to host, right, for other teams. So you'd find in one way or another, there would be an inconvenience. Like now for this, in this instance, both Kasarani and Nyayo have been closed for AFCON because the stadiums are not them to handle fully. It's not for them to handle fully. Then bado wanasaidika. This is a short-term. It is a short-lived, short-term procedure. The long-term procedure that would avoid everything is to have their own stadium. Look at KCB. KCB would only, even if they're at home, they would want to take their match at Kasarani or at Nyayo when they're playing against Gor Mahia because of the huge fan base of Gor Mahia that they want to milk money from. Because the money would be there as Kama KCB, not for Gor Mahia, because they're the host. So they will no longer use KCB ground to host Gor Mahia. Tusker, if having would want to go, if they are at home, they would want to go to Kasarani or Nyayo to milk money from fans of Gor Mahia or Nini, because the money is theirs. So in essence, Gor Mahia has a huge potential. AFC has huge potential that they are not tapping into, that their nemesis, their other football clubs are seeing and they are milking from. So for me, for any club to grow, every club should have own stadium, because that will help in this sense. Number one, Jack, you see, when we've said it, and you are actually crying foul that primary school matches are not being televised, right? You'd imagine if they were televised, then we would be picking high schoolers, then take them to academies, then from those academies, they graduate into senior football positions within respective clubs. There are no academies, football academies in this country. It is Mathare that had one, and it went. And the defunct World Hope. You remember World Hope is the one that transformed to City Stars, Nairobi City Stars.
Yeah.
It is World Hope then that also had a very good structure with the Mzungu and Tusker. I think those were the only clubs within the country that had serious.
We love Maisa.
But now Maisa, I go there, there's nothing serious going on. There was the real Maisa. I see,
which Maisa do you go to?
See, Kangundoro, number which Maisa?
Kangundoro gani? Hiyo yuko hapo karibu na Komarok.
Yes.
Along unananga hiyo Maisa.
Yes. So, I go there one.
There are Maisa everywhere in Nairobi. Like,
so which is the main one that is very serious? That was used to be very serious.
Yeah. Nakumbaka na ka stadium kao kadogo hapa. I see it. I've been there.
No, Jack, call a spade. I've been there, played there. If now you reason this way, you see, there's no way the headquarter can be good and the branches are bad. The branches are a reflection of the headquarter. If the headquarter,
the branches are bad of where they are being found, but in real sense, it's been operating. That's the only academy that has been operating in this Kenya for years and years.
I don't defy that. It has been operating. I've also been there. I've seen it operating. The issue is, it is rotten. It is not the Maisa that you know the Maisa that gave Anthony Kimani. That gave Janyakunguru Edgar Ochieng, fighter. Right? You can call this Austin Makacha,
akina
Shikokoti, Geoffrey Shikokoti. Yeah. That's my son. You know what I mean? Where is it? No, where is it? But it is because of the places that they're actually being found. And then if the branches are rotten to the core at the bottom here, rest assured, because if they were rotten and the people at the top are concerned, then they would come down. What is not happening down here that is happening, then they would straighten it up. But they are rotten, and you actually agree that they are rotten. So, but there's nothing going on.
You know, one thing I like with Maisa is this: every Maisa in every constituency have their own ground. Like
yes,
you're talking about the Kangundo Road one. Iye nakwanga Maisa ya Komarok. That's their main branch. So if Maisa were to, they also organize Champions League. Wanakwanga na kitu inaitwa Champions League. So you play your games in your pool. Then number one in this pool will be playing number two in that pool, and the one that qualifies will go for Champions League. So Champions League unapatanga most please na heliwanga hapo Komarok. So kuna Maisa Dandora, kuna Maisa ya Kariobangi, kuna Maisa ya Babadogo, kuna Maisa. There is Maisa everywhere.
Fine. Jack, but you agree, we don't have Maisa that would give quality. Okay, maybe the players are there, but there's no serious management to uplift these players.
No, if you go to Maisa today, you will find players, very good players, but they are young players, under 12, under 14, and below 18. So by the time they are realizing that they are 20, and football has not started paying, they opt for other businesses.
It is the structure. It is the structure that is not uplifting them. The same structure that is having you on the street today, the same structure that is having me on the street today, it is the same structure they are in. So there's nothing different. You would have been a very serious goalkeeper in this country.
I agree with you when you say it's the structure.
Yes.
So when we talk about stadiums, and you want to believe that every club that needs to be serious should have a stadium.
That's the starting point. You know, a stadium, I'm looking at it in
It,
terms of revenue.
let me tell you, it is just structure that we are talking about. If we have a good structure, then there is no need even for clubs to have their own stadium. Number one thing is that why is FC Leopards playing their matches in Nairobi while they have a big fan base at Western? It's a missed
Well,
priority.
to me, it's not a missed priority. You see, uh, I feel like serious football, serious fan base is here in Nairobi. You know, you go to huko nyumbani. You know, in Nairobi, you can spare 300 shillings to go to Moi Center Kasarani. Just watch a match. But you'll never do that ukiwa nyumbani. Why? Hakuna mafuta ya taa, hujasiaga. You know those things.
But take it this way, you pay 300 in Nairobi to watch a match, and the match is being held at Kasarani Stadium. How much are they paying for the ground?
I don't know what they pay, but it varies, by the way. Charges for pitch.
Yeah,
I can speak for you at KCB ground. To host a match there, KPL match is 30,000 for 2 hours.
30,000 for 2 hours. So that means
Yes.
that Kasarani and Nyayo are charging more better than that.
Yes,
Maybe
of course.
150.
Yeah,
So
you'd expect that. Yes.
If FC Leopards were to hold their home match at Bukungu Stadium, how much do you think the county government would charge them?
Let's say 20,000.
It will be 20,000. How many people
Yes.
do you think would come with that 100 bob to watch the FC Leopards play against maybe another team?
No, it's also the quality of the team. You see, they won't just come for any team. There's always that side, there's always that vigor.
Fans showing it's how you advertise for the match during the week and the type of football you play. You know, you see sometimes Gor Mahia, their fans don't come to the pitch more often because the advertisement was not good. But if there was a hype in advertisement, you would see the pitch flood. You see, like when Gor Mahia played AFC Leopard at Kasarani Stadium, their first leg, the stadium was not full compared to when they played at Nyayo. You remember?
Yeah, I was in both matches. Actually, Nyayo was really full.
Yeah, Nyayo was full because and Makiu, the Nyayo prices were higher than the Kasarani prices.
Yeah, Kasarani I paid 200. Huku I paid 300, I think.
So no. Even
but
the
you see
VIP
again,
was,
Nyayo is smaller one. Nyayo is a 30,000 seater. We are talking about 60,000 seater in Kasarani. So how do you put
half full? Kasarani was not even half full. If you were there, then the other side was the other stand maybe 3 or 4 full, and then the other side also 3 or 4.
Yes.
So in Nyayo, it was all round.
It was all round. I think also, you see, we were at a point in which Gor Mahia was almost at the clinch of the cup. So it was a do or die game, if you can remember.
Why would you want to believe that all the fans that came there were Gor Mahia fans? They were AFC Leopards fans.
Actually, to be very fair, actually, FC Leopards fans were many. They were quite many than Gor Mahia fans. But to see what also made that match to be the way it was, we were in a mood in the country in which that match was going to determine a lot afterwards. So if FC could stop Gor Mahia on that match, it was going to divert the dimension of the league leader. It was going to divert how matches are going to be played out there. If Gor was to win, which it did anyway, it would now confirm that the winning streak is on, and they are just few matches away from clinching the league. So it was a situation in which every fan was actually coming out to lift the spirit of the team. FC
coming up the way of Gor Mahia fans. AFC Leopards fans, they have branches.
Sikupati poa.
Unanipata sasa?
Nakupata.
There is this thing that it's called branches.
Yes.
You find Gor Mahia fans located as a certain point, they call themselves Embakasi branch, Nakuru branch.
Yes, now, but I'm struggling. Eh?
Why are you struggling to get me?
Yani nakupata kwa umbali.
What about now?
Yeah, now you're audible.
So this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes.
Kuna hii kitu inaitwa branch.
Yes.
Unapata Embakasi wako na branch yao, Kasarani wako na branch yao, something wako na branch yao, and now Tusker is joining. Tusker has their own branch. Mimi mwenyewe niko kwa hiyo Gumba branch. So unapata hawa say who travel. Gor wako na game Mombasa, unapata mafans wao wametravel Mombasa. Kuna contribution huwa wana make for a certain period. Wanasema like we'll be having our match on 9th May. So if you want to go, this is the price, this is the price, and this is the schedule. So you by your time ikifika unapata bado fulani, so you just go board the bus. It's a to and fro. So FC wakiweka game zao, FC Leopards wakiweka game zao Bukungu Stadium, that one won't defy their fans to go watch them. Actually, not on a ball, and they will do everything possible to make sure that they are on the stadium.
Now that is serious thinking. That's a serious thought now coming from you. Now you see, in that case, you galvanize support. You galvanize support from the city, together with that one that Ikuko local. Now you come at a meeting point, which is now the stadium. People are coming from the city, New Water Village, you come over there, right? But you see, the beauty of it is the ease with which people from the city would easily pay, the amount than the people who are nyumbani. What you can count as an easy gesture from people from nyumbani is their availability. They will be very much available in their numbers, right? But it will be difficult for them to, because of the cost of living down there. It will be quite difficult for someone to get 200 anataka kuspend kwa mpira. Ng'ombe labda anahara ana dawa ya ku you know these things za nyumbani. You see, you are in city.
All the problems you're talking about comes even to Nairobi. If kama ng'ombe anahara nyumbani, even people of Nairobi have to be included at tuma pesa, you know.
Yes, people of Nairobi are the people who settle that bill ya ng'ombe kuhara ya kutafuta dawa.
So all these things zinatulocate. And ukienda kuona game with FC na Gor Mahia, actually when FC Leopard loses their matches, people like me, mafans kama sisi wenye bado ni vijana, we are not even hurt. I don't know if you ever realized that.
No, if you are not hurt, if you are not hurt, there are only two ways. You are not hurt or you are happier.
Yes, we are being hurt, but not to. Can you just compare yourself after Gor Mahia loses a match to an old mzee mwenye pia amekuja kuona game? Who is more hurt?
Of course ni mzee, because you wewe ni kijana barubaru, but there is so much in this Nairobi that would want your attention. Wacha hata na loss ya Gor Mahia. You would come to mourn later in life. That time.
So
right?
I was thinking that if those games can be held at the local, actually kila msee anachezea kwao.
Now I get your point. Now I get. You see, now in that kind of case, everyone must have a stadium. Everyone must have a stadium, and then and you know what will be happening, Jack?
No, leave alone the story of stadium. They are state-owned stadiums.
Hizi vitu za state-owned wachana nayo bwana. Unaona, look at it this way. Kwani how many matches are being played at Wembley? Right?
If anything, used to play at Wembley.
Ooh.
You remember the season Tottenham didn't have a stadium, they were renovating
their stadium. What were they doing? They were playing in Wembley and they were renovating White Hart Lane. In fact, wanachana White Hart Lane wakatengeneza Tottenham Stadium.
This is exactly what I was telling you. You have a consistent place to call your home. It doesn't matter when
you're confusing this thing. Look at Buana, you've given a very good example. Let me now take you through. Tottenham used to play there. And Tottenham was not the first club to play there. It was West Ham, if you can ever remember. Because West Ham was also in Atengeneza, the London club, the London Stadium. right? But
Yeah.
you see, they were playing there out of desperation. Yeah, they don't, for that season, they didn't know where to place their matches. So they were playing there, but their own stadium ilikuwa inaenda under construction. Once the stadium was ready, they relocated everything that specific wakachana Wembley. So Wembley is just uses as national things or international ones, like now UEFA inapelekwa huko, FA iko huko leo, you get. But at the end of the day, kila mtu anarudi kucheza kwao. Hapo ndio mnajulikana, the structures are there, you collect all the money from there. You don't share it with anyone. The money is shared
Now,
structurally within the club.
let's take it this way. Let me explain to you something out of context. AC Milan and Inter Milan, these are two big
Yes,
clubs. They've been
San
sharing
Siro.
stadium. Yeah, they've been sharing stadium ever since. But that one has not tampered with their schedule. Inter won a game home, AC Milan won a game away.
Yes.
Or if they have to host a back-to-back home matches.
The other one on Saturday, the other one on Sunday, or Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, maybe Sunday, Monday, or Sunday, Saturday. Again, Old Trafford right now, it's on a mess.
Yes, yes.
I saw
Serious
a
mess.
letter. I saw a letter Radcliffe wrote to the UK government that he wants them to take part in co-financing the restructure of a new stadium for Manchester United. Have you seen that? So,
I saw something like walikuwa nasema he wants to build a new stadium in the north of England, because he's saying so many stadiums are within the city, when that is London. I think that is to the west of England. So you'd want this Old Trafford to be taken to north of England, something like that, because it was actually saying the north of England has had many more cups than the west of England. I didn't just read quite well, but if anything, that was something to go by.
So in that letter, he even invited the UK government to co-finance that operation. So this means that if Manchester United, something I was failing to tell you is that Kenyan clubs, they are not financially independent. Look at clubs like Manchester United, financially independent with good sponsors, and still they need help from the government to co-finance the operation of the building of the stadium. Here in Kenya, we are only on sports farms are the things that are sponsoring our games, our clubs. So I don't think.
No, Jack. There.
Do we have good sponsors in Kenya? First of all, that's the first question we should be asking ourselves.
Can I tell you something, Jack?
Yeah.
There, I beg to disagree. I think we have what it takes. We have the resources. We have sponsors. The only thing that is happening in this country, people fear to invest because of kickbacks. Kickbacks are very heavy in this country, and that is something that has been really dragging us behind. This morning. I'm just from Ulinzi Sports Center hapa Lang'ata for this matter hat run. Hii run ya kutoa, you know what it is. What did it take to build Ulinzi Sports Complex in the manner that it is today? It is goodwill, right? People just focused and then wakaifanya. It is perfect. Matches are being played there. It is in a perfect shape, I can tell you. Machako Stadium, in as much as right now it is not playable because of Mvua, what did it take for Mutua to build that stadium? Goodwill. He just stood up and did it. Kisumu, where Gor Mahia was supposed to host, Muhoroni was supposed to host Gor Mahia until ikapelekwa Murang'a. What did it take? Uhuru Kenyatta. It is goodwill. How many stadia did these people promise this country that they will build? Even this Kipkeino stadium that is being renovated, right? We are just but too late into it. It ought to have been done when.
Whatever you are coming to is down to state-owned stadiums. If they build a stadium, then that means that these stadiums are state-owned. And if you have to use those state-owned stadiums, let's start by using the ones that are available. You understand? We allocate
but how do we improve situations? How do you make us in a better state? How do you put us in a better state? We have deficit of these things, right? You want us to grow. You see, another way of also growing the economy, Jack, is informal sector ndio sasa easy. What we are discussing here, football. And I was just telling you the way we've treated football in this country as a secondary issue. Like it doesn't matter. How do you create time to go watch football? You should dedicate your time to be part and parcel of the process of football. Because all of us, we are not good upstairs. You understand? If I'm good kwa kitabu, mwingine si mzuri wa kitabu, but at the end of the day, both of us should make a living out of it. School should help me. Mwingine school haiko inafaa, then not today. Cristiano Ronaldo is actually richer than any professor you can ever know of. But which school did he go to? If anything, alipiga mwalimu na, it is being said, I don't know whether it's confirmed, alipigana huko akachana shule, if anything. You see, the informal sector create an environment in which even clubs can see that something is happening, and then you seduce investors. They would come, take these clubs up, do whatever thing. We were just talking about Maisa, right? There were serious investors here. Even the SportPesa was an investor. You created an enabling environment for people to come and help grow the economy informally.
So
you will grow the economy.
Let me tell you something about investors. The investors are not coming to make you good.
They're coming to invest, to get money out of it.
They are coming to make the good in you look better.
Exactly. And also they get something out of it.
So so clubs should first own their training grounds, as I was talking about. Then after that, the investor will, you see, like now Muranga Seal, easier club to invest on. Because they have their own ground, they have their own training pitch, they are not paying more facilities.
Jack, that is it. In fact, look at. In fact, I just want to develop on that thing, so that now we can move to another issue. We've really talked about this. You can imagine if Thika, you remember Thika Football Club had Thika Municipal Stadium, right? The hapo ndio walikuwa wanacheza. Now Muranga still have now their Muranga Stadium. Sony Sugar Football Club had their Awendo Stadium. Ilikuwa na Awendo Green Stadium.
Yeah.
Yes. Now Chemelil had Chemelil Complex Stadium. Right? City Stars, I can't remember the name of the stadium, but they had something there. I just want to be mean a little bit and name clubs that zimekuwa zikiwa na uwanja wao. And then we had Tusker.
Bandari wako na uwanja kweli?
Bandari, that is municipal. Ile ni ya, I think it's
county.
Yeah, county. Then Tusker has inaitwa Roraka, right? Yeah. Whether it is not a stadium, but it is a playable place. KCB has their KCB ground, right? So these clubs, Thika used to train in Thika Municipal. Awendo hapo tu kwao, Awendo Green Stadium. Chemelil used to train there. Tusker trains at Roraka, KCB at KCB grounds, right? So where these clubs train are their home playing grounds, right? Now, if these clubs had also good structures for me, it is monetarily and alignment of these clubs to the extent that they should be existing up until now. If anything, the competition to ya kiwanja dinazitoa. So Thika would be enclosed in such a way that if they're hosting any match, they would even be paying 100 to get collection, right? And so was Awendo, and so was Chemelil, and so is Tusker, wakiwa hapo Roraka, KCB. So these are the few grounds that these are the few clubs that you can count on as having playground as well, a training ground as well as the playing ground. You can be rest assured that clubs were stable, and some of them are still stable up until today, Tusker and KCB, because they have everything. Now go to our mighty Gor Mahia Kogalo. No training ground, no playing ground. Go to the very serious FC Leopards. No training ground, no playing ground. So if they want to train, sometimes I meet FC Leopard bus hapa Kencom waiting to take players to the training ground. So you just want to see how inconveniencing and how expensive this thing is. So players are coming from everywhere, meet in Kencom. So inconveniently, the club has to fuel the bus to take the players from the meeting point to the training ground. Iwatoe training ground iwarudishe wakimaliza. That's number one. And that will be happening up until wakati wako na match. Probably they go to camp. I don't know whether they go or not. So unnecessarily there's expenditure there. That's number two. FC Leopard has a home match, right? Because they're not ordained to play anywhere. They have to look for the venue beforehand. So they want to request, can we get Nyayo? Can we get Machakos? Can we get Dandora? Can we get whatever? You get? So you're even training, but you don't know mnacheza wapi. Ni up until Friday or Wednesday tunaambiwa this weekend hii mechi yetu tunapeleka huku. Then you are in that circus. But psychologically, you are not settled. You know what playing takes. You need to become always your mind together, your things together. Everything has to be controlled, contained. But when a situation in which you are training in thicker today, kulikuwa na mama ambapo was in Kamtoyo. Gor Mahia would come there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. The whole of Kamtoyo is booked. They did not book in advance, so they are not training there. You hear that? Amenda. Before you get to Thika, there's a stadium there. They are training there. You get such inconveniences. You expect the team to perform 7 days a week. Now there was the issue of even training allowance. There's always a training allowance these guys are given, whether it's 10,000, whether it's 5,000, depending. This is also not issued. So there are a lot of psychological things that would affect the play when now it is supposed to be done practically, than even before you get there. So for me, one of the eradications that should be made is issue a current stadium. To me, it is now you say that if you rent Nyayo, it's cheaper. In one match, you are playing against FC Leopards, because the revenue that you will collect when FC plays Gor Mahia is way much less than when FC or Gor Mahia is playing any other team. But then how many times would Gor and FC meet for you to get that amount of money? You get? So where does that leave you to? You can't play you can't pay debts. You can't play because these players are not being paid effectively as per their respective contracts. Contracts are very serious here in this country. There should be money for assist, for penalty, for goal scoring, all these things. They're very luring. But when it comes to the point of actualization, nothing comes in. So people...
You know, just go on.
Yeah, so you get... players have really devastated. Right? There's no pride. There's no pride for playing for a football club in this country, I can tell you. Jack Tuisenge just signed from was it Rwanda or Burundi? Jack Tuisenge, the former skipper of Gor Mahia. He signed for 150,000. Every month this guy says he gets 70, he gets 50. The remaining balance carried forward.
Welcome back. We are talking about that thing.
Hawa ndio ofisi wananipigia kidogo. Sasa, to me, if I can get a club that has a training ground, that has a stadium where they can play the matches, because to me, the main issue in this country is the issue of pesa. We don't pay players. We really don't pay players. Jack, do you know that FKF inapeanga clubs pesa?
Yeah, of course kuna pesa FIFA
It,
inatoa
through
when the season. No. So this is what I was talking about.
yes.
To host match, obvious kutakuwa na attendance, then we can pay the higher fee. No. So the FKF, the FIFA money, we should use it just a minute.
Yes.
So what I was trying to tell you is that FIFA wanatoanga pesa at the beginning of the season. Hiyo budget
Yes.
inakuanga ya the whole season. So that
Yes.
money inaweza tumika kwa hiyo training allowance and whatever we can budget on that, if only we have our training grounds every club. So hiyo kiwanja ya Tusker unasema hiyo kiwanja ina host, it has a capacity of 200 people. Hapa tuwezi chezea, we cannot go and watch football there.
But Tusker has played there. Tusker has ever played there local matches.
Played there, yeah. I've even watched them play there, but it's not a convenient ground for. Another thing, inaitwaje hiyo Murang'a City Stadium, hizo
Ongea karibu na Mike. But you see, to me, it is a good starting point. For Tusker, it is a good starting point. They are where they don't pay money to train.
Our league is not starting today.
Yes.
You're talking about starting point, but we have a league where the title has been given to one club for more than 20 times.
Yes, so it's a very serious club.
It's not a serious club. This is like serious in what terms?
Do you know that is the only human living club in this country? That's the only human living club.
I've never seen build players. I've never seen Gor Mahia do anything.
You know this player called Amos Nondi?
I'm not familiar with him.
Amos Nondi is a midfielder. He rose through the rank of the academy of Gor Mahia and akaingia senior team. Actually, right now he has a call-up here at Harambee Stars.
Gor Mahia academy.
They used to have an academy. Right now, I think it is defunct.
How are they serious?
But right now, I'm just telling you that they're not serious. There's no structure here. They used to be serious some time back. Yeah.
You know, Peter, something about stadiums is, even if you go to the Europe, let's take, for example, Ligue 1. In Ligue 1, I think only, how many clubs? Ligue 1, I think it's only maybe PSG. I'm not sure of PSG, but in Ligue 1 on their stadium. Do you know that?
How is that?
If you look about the stadiums in Ligue 1, also in Italy, it's only Juventus, maybe, and Sassuolo that owns the stadiums. The rest of the club use hired stadiums.
But to see AC Milan and Inter Milan, I think it was last year that they wanted to part ways. I think one of the club wanted to go separate way, and that plan has been there.
That plan has been there.
I think the issue is that's on the expense. I know it's expensive.
So it is very expensive to go. First of all, what we can start with.
Uku, I don't think we have done something to
so
us that it is expensive to do. But people
we can
buoyant in this country.
This is my take. We can do something by owning stadiums in this country. But first of all, trying not to issue. It's plan. You understand?
Oh, so football equal localized.
See, equal localized, equal decentralized.
Hey, that's a good one now. Decentralized.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody should go back where he belongs.
Mm.
And then after that, you see, a club like Mohoroni Youth has a stadium. Why? Because they are operating at their own piece of land.
But don't even talk about that other girl. In fact, I forgot to tell you that issue, shifting it from Kisumu to Murang'a.
Murang'a said. Uh,
I've never seen it.
Adagala said he said
I've
he
never
cannot raise that 7,000.
375,000. I've never seen
Yeah.
anyone who is as cheeky as that guy.
He even said that he's going to give Gor Mahia a walkover. Of a sudden,
But
they show up.
he showed up.
He
How
showed up.
come? How can you in a span of a week you say you can't raise 375? All of a sudden now people are there. I can tell you for sure. Maybe he had just
Why do you think he fixed the match?
the
It
gala.
didn't look like it was. It didn't look like it was fixed.
Yes, matches that are fixed never look like that one until now investigations are actually done with serious people. Not in this country where everything is taken out. You run away with everything. I feel like
We are
you see
coming to that.
Adagala does not have money to pay people. He does not have money to pay the coach, the players, the staffs. So what he would do, he would stake a match that Moroni Youth has against probably Gor Mahia in this case. And then it says, these guys, you see, I've not paid your allowances, I've not paid your dues. Maybe your dues is even amounting to 20,000, 20 million, for instance. Huh? And there's no way I can get that amount of money. That amount of money, I can get a bit of it. But that bit of it is coming from this money that you're actually having. So what you do, I'm staking with 500,000. That we go lose 3-0 or we go lose 4-0. So if this happens, see, he wins kwa bet. He gets the money. And he continues with the business. Adagala does not have respect. He does not have regard for players. I can tell you, my brother was in Moroni Football Club.
Do you think the players are willing to talk?
Off camera. They will talk off camera. Okay, the ones
But
that have now left.
If they are talking off camera, then also them they are rotten. They can help any situation here.
No, you see, it is fear. It is fear and desperation. Now let me tell you, the Moroni. That guy is not a good guy. I personally interacted with Adagala while I was still a primary school guy. So Adagala used to have, he used to organize for tournaments in Moroni in a place called Thessalia. Thessalia is in Moroni. So this tournament would have, we used to call ourselves the Green Commando. So the Green Commando, no, the vegetarians. The vegetarians was the academy at Chemelil Football Club. So we would go there. There was a club called Roundabout Football Club, Round FC, and other clubs that use a place. He was the chairman and the main financier of that club. And then he had his club, I've forgotten the name. You will never win. I'm telling you, you will not win. Buana, he has his own cake and he eats it. He will do everything that hadi afike finally. The team that plays against his team, Bana, please count yourself out. So it started like a joker like that in that kind of small context. And then somehow he took up Football Club and is doing it consistently and faithfully up until today. But now you get to a point in which you've not been paid for 3-4 months, 6 months. What you get is 8,000, 4,000. And yet you call yourself that you are working. You call back home. Hey, but Adagal is not a human being. So even on this match, I feel convinced. He fixed it.
So in the fixing part, who does Adagala talk to? Does he
talks to
this
players.
He talks to players. He does not,
directly. He talks to players directly. Because
And
you
the players
see,
go there. No, uh-huh.
you
The
see,
players
even
go there. No,
hii pesa
so,
ya FIFA that the FIFA gives
uh-huh.
through FKF.
Mhm.
See, this pesa is being given through the chairman of the clubs.
Yeah,
It never gets to them. You get?
because it is his private business.
The club is his. He's the one who owns it. So this money, once it is disbursed by FKF, these people do not get even a taste of this money. You understand? So you see, the money that is being given by FIFA, it is meant for sustenance. FIFA has given this. The club should also generate this, and then the players should have money from both sides, right? Sometime back, I don't know whether the rule is still there.
So my, my,
Yes.
my question is, yeah, the rule is it still stands. So my question is, if Adagala can fix a match with his own players, do you think those players are not involved in betting?
Who are not
Like if I'm going to
the,
if I'm going to play a match that I already know that we are going to lose this X versus Y.
yes,
Why should I stake that?
but you see, you don't have money. You want money, and that's the only source of money that you
The,
can have.
the thing I'm asking you is, I'm a player.
Yes,
We have already discussed that we are
yes,
going to lose 3-0 to a certain team.
yes,
And
mm,
so I'm very sure that this is going to be the outcome at the end of it.
yes,
I
yes,
should take some amount of money for my personal benefits, so that when we lose 3-0,
yeah.
what Dagala will be paying me, I will have something at the back of my pocket.
On top. But
Yeah.
that happens. That happens. How many players have been found in this country in fixing matches? I think the most recent one is a City Stars player or something like that. I think two of them
The-
that have been.
so,
But you see,
w- w-
to me, they're even being used as scapegoats. Players do this in and out almost every single weekend. They bet. The only thing is that they run away with them because we don't have structures. We don't question things in this country, boy. You will run away with anything. You get? So how come and this is a direct report. How come Adaga tells you and you need to be disciplined anyway? Because if he tells you that you need to lose 3-0, the stake is for 3-0. The bet is for 3-0. So you go to 4-0, there's a danger.
the-
You get?
you're not
Or you lose 2-0, there's also a danger. There won't be money. It has to be 3 because that is what the stake is all about. So you must be disciplined and observe the rule of the game, the rule of betting.
I get why Atagala's team has problem with payment. Because if it's hard to fix a match with your own players without involving the opposition players. Do you understand?
Yes, I
Like
do.
today,
I do.
we're supposed to lose 3-0. Understand? But
Yes,
uh, Omala during first half scores 2 and is on a hat trick, and another person, maybe let's say Jamani Onyango something.
uh, jo- uh, mm.
The fullback,
Ronnie Onyango.
Ronnie Onyango. So
Yes,
the game is already 3-0 at halftime.
yes,
But Omala is on a hat trick. So Omala is working tirelessly to get his third goal. So if he scores
yes.
the third goal, the game is going to be 4. Omala does not know the negotiate
The deal.
the deal. He does not know the deal. So he is working
Mm,
very hard to get his goal. If he gets his
mm,
goal to 4-0, Adagala has all the right to tell you that it is not my mistake not to pay you. You allowed the fourth
mm,
goal in. The deal
mm,
was 3 goals. So
mm,
if the Moroni players or Fake complain because about they're involving themselves in this, then they've been kept hostage.
yeah. You can rightly say that. I can also rightly say so, but it is the state of desperation. It is the state of there's no voice, there's no channel to voice your grievances. These guys actually talk about this once they're out of Moroni. That's now when they'll actually tell you what exactly happens there. Because there's always the fear of unknown. What would happen if you talk about it while you are still there? You get? They don't know where the fear would come from, but the fear is still there. It is there with them. So they will just play along innocently, though desperately.
I believe in every tournament there are. We don't know
Yes.
what are the rules of being fond of match fixing, because we've never seen anybody here in Kenya. Okay, there have been even officials who have been involved in match fixing and whatever, but what remedy is the government taking? Maybe for investigation or the people brought to book to.
You know better than I do that we don't have a government in anything to do with that's corruption in another sense, right? What do you think this government has to do with anything called corruption? What do you think they can do to make things straight? It is rotten to the core. So there's nothing that they can bring, that they can do to bring new life into something that already was dead.
But there has always been a government. So, match fixing and whatever. Was it Jacob Buda?
Jacob, you see the issue of match fixing. There are the CAF licenses, right? There are the CAF licenses, the CAF regulations on how clubs should be run, the rules that actually govern every club. By the way, we've talked about one serious thing, and I think we were just superficial about it anyway. You see, anything should not happen, number one, when no club has a club, has a stadium, has a training ground, right? Has an authenticated team doctor. Wachana na mitishamba, unaweza enda tu mahali umeleta, mimi ni daktari wa mifupa na anaanza kutibu team doctor. A nutritionist who should actually take care of everything. Siku ya kukunywa pombe, siku ya kutokunywa pombe, siku tu ya dessert, you know these things.
Yeah.
You get? A specific, every club, there's the minimum wage every Kenyan football player should be paid. Sometimes like it used to be around 30. I don't know whether it has gone up or it has been revised downward.
It has gone down. It has gone down. It has decreased.
To what?
Maybe 15.
No, 15. If 15 can only be what FIFA gives through FKF. It cannot be 15.
It is 15. For
if it is 15,
in Kenya, it's 15. Yeah.
If it is 15, then that is what FIFA FKF should be giving on every player. Remember, there's also the part of the club, the bargaining side of the club, that the club should be topping up as an add-on to the 15. It cannot be 15. If you're putting it at 15, then everyone is playing at the mercy of FIFA. Which again, so this 15 no one gets.
Yeah, it is because you come into a club through no right directions.
Yes.
You understand? So
yes.
You have to you go into the club by their own terms. Right now we are going to the windows. We are going to the windows transfer.
Now let me just cut you short. Let me now cut you short. You say that you go into clubs in their own what? Mercy. So you play their own mercy. No, yeah. I request to disagree. You see, when you get there, people sign contracts. Unfortunately, people sign contracts that they don't even know about. And if they know about these contracts,
the thing is, they don't deserve those positions. Like, you've been just selected. The coach has said, because I know you, I want you to play for this club. But for the start, you're going to earn this amount of money. So they give you X amount of money because you've been signed out of favor. You understand? And because you just accept the terms.
Do you know Innocent Mutiso?
I know Innocent Mutiso.
A very nice keeper then for Mathare United. Another reason to tell you why Maisa has failed, why Madara is dead. Innocent Mutiso. You can never look into these days. We find a player like Innocent Mutiso, right? This is a birth so Innocent Mutiso, anyway, just to be straight on this point, Innocent Mutiso was the one heading. There's this association, there's this organization, yeah, football players that takes grievances of players, of specific players against clubs. So, like Wellington Ocheng was complaining of Gor Mahia not having paid him a sum close to 2 million. And Nani and Muguna also had some issues with Gor Mahia. He had not been paid. So he would take his issue to this organization. I've just forgotten the name a little bit. So this organization would take up this issue on their behalf to the respective authorities against the club until they get that. Right now, Nani was taken over by James Ituma. James Ituma is now the chairman of this football thing. From where I sit, my friend James Ituma sometimes comes and talks about what they're doing, but what they're doing is behind curtains. There's no effect. You don't feel it. You don't even read anywhere where a specific player has been helped by this organization. You get? In as much as I know that they have very many issues that have been forwarded to them by specific players, this doesn't happen. You understand? So they are either toothless, like they have not been empowered to take these issues straight up, yeah, right? Or they are just as incompetent as no one would ever imagined. You get? So if they are the organization that is set aside, they are the identity that is set aside to fight for the players' plight, and the issue is still the same, then the whole system that is there against them is so huge that they can't do that alone, right? In my view, probably maybe they've never requested for any kind of reinforcement, any kind of sobriety, in terms of thought, in terms of handling of issues or something like that. It has never happened. So we are still comfortable where we are. And very many talents like you, a very serious goalkeeper that is hidden huku chini, we are not going anywhere. Jack.
I'm back, sorry.
Yes, so that's where we are. That's where we are. Yeah, so maybe now we can move on to the next issue. But I think this football Kenya issue is so wide, it is so huge. Maybe we will set a day, one day, to just have it.
All of it together.
Sorry?
You are talking about we will set a day maybe to talk about the football Kenya Federation.
Yeah, I feel like it needs some more time. It's too big.
Oh, yeah. So straight away, let's go to Europe and see what's happening there.
Yes.
There is a lot that has been happening in Europe.
Let me cut it short a little bit, if you allow me. I think you should do what you did at the beginning of this conversation, so that Mrs. Kike, I can hear myself from the other end. My voice is reverberating. I don't know if they muted or something.
Echo.
Najisikiza mara mbili.
What about now?
I think. Hello?
You're okay?
Yeah, I'm now okay. I'm good now.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm good.
Europe and see what's happening in Europe.
Yes.
Europe, but I don't know.
Yes.
Where should we start?
We can start from any quarter.
Let's start by UEFA Champions League and Europa Champions League. Atalanta. Is it their first ever title?
Yeah, in recent times, that's their first. Even the coach, that was his first in his lifetime. Yeah, so straight up, no doubt about that. It's their first of their lifetime.
What can you talk? What can you say about Lukman? He had a very good Afcon, and right now is shined in the European final.
To be very fair and very honest, I'm not surprised at what he did actually. The hat trick, uh, he has always shown some signs that is just up there for that task. I think even for me at some point, I was actually feeling like he was not just having the good space. He should be in a different club. In as much as yes, Atlanta has been there, has given him that space, he's proved himself. But I think he deserves better. And I think going forward, he's now going to be the talk of town when it comes to the transfer market. He used to be see, the guy who used to be Everton, if you can remember, some time back.
I'm not getting you clearly.
I'm saying Lukman used to be in Everton. I think he left Everton when he was at 19 or 18 years, actually 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
He's now grown to be a very serious skipper. What shocked me, to be honest, I could never imagine on how Bayer Leverkusen was going to lose that match. That was the shocker to me.
They to lose a match on 3-0.
I think it is the mentality. Maybe I think they were just a little bit psychologically exhausted or something like that, or they were just complacent. They were complacent with this match. They were treating it as any other Bundesliga match that they've had before, right? Not knowing that these are different atmosphere. The synergy, the energy is electrifying differently. It needs a different nerve. So maybe they were just casual, like they've been with other matches because they have not been beaten locally. So they took that that coldness up into that kind of and I think they were treated to it, and that was the result.
And we are also headed to the UEFA Champions League, Real Madrid playing against Borussia.
Yes. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jack?
Wembley. The last
Yes,
time
yes.
Borussia Dortmund played at Wembley, it was against Bayern Munich and they lost.
They lost 2-1, yes. Well, no doubt. No doubt about that. I'm always a Madridistas, all right? A Madrid is like being a Mancunian, supporter of Madrid. Is a Madridista in Spain. So I'm still one. The Los Blancos has been what it has been for these past seasons when it comes to Champions League. I can still give them my bet, right? Because I think they have what it takes to win this match. But we should be cautious. We should also be wary of Borussia Dortmund. You see, they're coming into this match as people who are lame, people who are not really
Underdogs.
being given the limelight quite enough, and they can pull a surprise card, you know. So they deserve their respect. They deserve their space for this match. They have worked so hard to be where they are today for this final. To be very sincere, no one actually ever imagined that they would knock out PSG, if anything, right? But they've done that home and away, and comfortably so. So I think it can go either way, but I would give Madrid any day. So for me it's a 65-35 thing. 65 for Madrid, 35 for Borussia.
Borussia Dortmund have done themselves great for getting into the final, but I think that is the end of the road for them. Because Real Madrid, when you play against Real Madrid in the Champions League final, it's not an easy thing.
That's true. That's true. They have proven that. This, if they have been there 14 times, this would be their 15th, which I believe would be anyway. So I think it will be a very nice night, nice evening to look forward to.
Before we get to the UEFA Champions League final, we are having playing against the arch rival Manchester City.
A disaster in waiting.
Disaster in waiting. It's happening today
Yes.
at 6.
Sorry, what's happening to that?
What's the time for that match?
It's at 5, 17 hours.
Today.
Yes, today. So straight up.
Before the match,
I can't hear you quite well. I don't know where the problem is.
Are you getting me?
Yes, now I'm getting you.
Are you getting me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
So, Manchester United are going to play against Manchester City in the
Yes.
FA Cup final. But before the match,
Yes.
Man United had already lost by leaking the news that after the FA that will be sacking, Ten Hag will get sacked after the FA Cup. The FA Cup.
Yes.
Did you get the news?
Well, I've read about it. But I don't think it's confirmed. I think it is just serious speculation anyway. But to me, I think Ten Hag has lost my respect. To be very honest, there have been some situations in which I'd never thought he would go the way he did. That I think has also made us be where we are today currently, because this issue of injury anyway. How has Madrid navigated through anyway? It's not like Madrid has a huge and excellent squad, but this is Madrid that lost Alaba, right? Lost Eder Militao, lost Catois in the course of it, lost Vinicius Junior at some point. You get, these were at the start of the season. All these were starters into this club. The only difference thing is that Vinicius Junior went away for only two to 3 months, and then he came back. But Nanis Ancelotti managed. There was a moment that Man City, even at the time Man City was playing, I think it was Arsenal, there have been moments in which Pep Guardiola has had injuries. Walker was not there, Dias was not there, right? People have not been there for Man City. But somehow he pulled through. I think Ten Hag does not just have the fallback plan when things go wrong. It doesn't have.
You said that football is a game of emotion. You have to have your emotion right.
Well, you see, the emotions also comes with identity. What is the identity of Manchester United today, if you can also say? There's no formula, right? There's no
formula, because Ten Hag has had to deal with a lot of things out of football. About the Greenwood saga. You remember the Greenwood girlfriend saga? After he came back, and the fans thought that the Greenwood they were better than the big. To take Ten Hag to send him on loan. You remember that saga?
Yes, Jack. Sorry? No, I'm not, I can't hear you quite well.
Why? I'm on my speaker.
Okay, now you are quite audible. Let's see how it will go. So you're saying something. Could you just come up again?
I'm telling you that Ten Hag
Yes.
he had to deal with
He had to deal with what?
a lot,
Uh-huh.
like the Greenwood saga,
Yes.
Jadon Sancho
Yes.
indiscipline,
Mm.
Ronaldo interview,
Mm.
Manchester United takeover, and also
Mm.
this guy was overweight.
No,
Like today,
no. To me,
you wake up today, Ronaldo.
but to see, think about it. Come think about it. Whatever they
Yeah. It doesn't matter whatever Ronaldo said. What matters is why was he saying?
why?
Why was he saying it?
Why was it what? I can't hear you.
Why was he saying it?
Why was Ronaldo saying what he said?
Yeah, that's what matters at the moment.
Well,
As prophecy, maybe it could have passed.
no, no, why Ronaldo said what he said? I think at a personal level, you also get to a point in which you say enough is enough. Maybe he had gotten to that point, and he just never cared of what would be thereafter. But he had to say what he had to say then, because it
What
is
about
also a way of setting yourself free in a moment like that.
there was another thing on the Sancho indiscipline, and I don't believe it was only Sancho alone. There were some people involved.
You see, the issue of Sancho has always been talked about, and I think now you've resuscitated something within me. I just said that there have been moments in which Ten Hag has treated moments that had he behaved otherwise, we couldn't have been where we are. But because he did, we are here today. There have been moments, there have been matches that ideally you think like uh, Anthony has had a lot of inconsistency, but somehow he's forced into the first 11. People whom you think have had good recoveries from injuries, at that time Sancho was one of them, and he's gotten a little bit of playing time, and he's proved that, right? At this time that Anton is not really in good shape, in good form, he will still play anyway. Devastating effects on us in places that we couldn't have lost, we couldn't have drawn. So tumemaliza hii season tukiwa number 8, but to made critical points that we've been leading 3 goals or even 3-1 until moment ambapo we lose it through subs. It has happened to us at the Champions League level. It has happened to us at the UEFA Cup level. It has happened to us at Premier League. So he has no excuse. I think he never learns
What about the
what he
takeovers?
wants. So if the issues are Ronaldo's, are injuries, are Sancho, those are good excuses for him.
What about, even the takeover is a because you remember Chelsea when the takeover at Chelsea.
Well, the takeover thing we can talk about because for a very long time we've also felt like we are not having, the fan base is not having the backup, the support from the board. Like the board is disengaged from the fan base. The board is acting differently away from. They do not know the mood of the fans. They don't gauge the happiness, whether they're sad, they're happy. They don't care. You look at Manchester United during its heydays when Ferguson was there. The board, the team, the fan, that was one thing, right? Even you, Chelsea, during your heydays, when Drogba was there, Anelka, Michael Ballack, Frank Lampard, Essien, Malouda, etc., the fan base, the team, and Ibrahimovic, in as much as he was, he was the sole authority, but it was one thing. Until you lost it by the takeover, by the change that you got it to Boli or this other guy. So this guy has been very independent. doing things in a manner that he thinks that he understands them, and leaving other entities outside. So, and that is what has been costing you also for quite some time. Manchester United, I think we've been in that period emotionally, psychologically, without even getting to that period even, because I know that will happen. But I look at this guy, Jimmy Ratcliffe, from where he's coming from. There have been a little bit of suggestions that I only hope that we carry on that way, that nothing changes along the way. You look at Manchester United club, Jack, I can tell you today, maybe I would only remain with 2 or 3 players. It needs total overhaul. Total overhaul.
So, with Ten Hag hands tied behind his back, do you think leaking his sack information before the match of today is a respect to the club?
It's. I don't think it's an issue that's either here or there. It's not. It is not disrespectful. It is not respectful at the same time, but people have lived such moments, and you just have to live through this moment. For me, it doesn't matter whether he wins. It doesn't matter whether he loses. I think people would want to put the issue at the doorstep of the takeover guys, of Jimmy and his cohorts, of taking over, and so that's why probably we are not performing quite well. Come on, these guys have been receiving salaries, allowances, everything, but we've never been devastated as we are right now as fans.
So on today's match, what will be your prediction?
I would just love to watch that match. I know what the prediction can be. I know what the outcome can be. Of course, for me, very huge percentage would be against Manchester United.
The scoreboard look like
3-0, 3-1, Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0-1. We'll take it gladly.
you're going to lose this match today, and this is your only title.
Definitely. Are you seeing any signs that we are actually going to win it? Which side are you talking about? Huh?
Win this match.
How? Which you think where are you drawing the belief from? Where are you drawing the hope from?
But it is not the first time you guys are going to beat Man City. You've been doing this before. You
We've
cannot
done that
repeat
before. We've done that before, and circumstances have always pointed to that. There's no circumstance that's pointing to us winning this match.
So you see yourself losing.
Beautifully. You tell me that squad who is back that you can think that would make things better. It's only Lisandro Martinez who's quite back at the defense. Don't be shocked. We would even start with John Evans, Oscar, or Casemiro at the defense.
You keep on hyping Lisandro.
I mean, honestly, Jack, I respect you. I hold you in high regard. Lisandro Martinez is a good player, one. What do you mean when you say that we are?
Since Martinez started playing for Manchester United, I've never seen something out of him.
At since
He started playing for Manchester United, I've never seen something out of him.
maybe it's because you've never watched many of our matches, so you've never seen.
This one guy, he likes other players.
No, not really.
Defender. Actually, he goes for the body. Every other time, Lisandro Martinez would go for the body.
No. I would beg to differ, and not because that I'm conflicted that he's our player or something like that. I think he has the character. I had my doubts when he actually came to Manchester United because of its height. At that time, I think he had not known. Maybe there was just so much expectation on his shoulder, and he was just trying to prove a point. But over time, he came to convince everyone that indeed that's what it was bought for. Come on, this is someone who knows how to read the game. You look at even the balls that he wins, where he places the ball, where he plays the ball, he does them into spaces. He's strong in the. Sorry?
Has he played half season?
No, this season no. This guy actually got injured I think it was the end of last season. It was the end of last season, or towards the second leg of this season.
I've seen him this season. 2 or 3 games.
He's had injuries, man. He's not had a good time for sure this season. Because there's a moment he came back from the long injury and then he went back this very same day that he actually stepped on the field.
We will rate
So,
him, but not today.
okay, as you say, anyway. But I think for me, he has a space. He has a space in my football mind.
Premier League has ended with Manchester City going home with the
Sorry.
title. The Premier League ended just the other week. Manchester City took home the title, and there are a lot of awards that have been given to individual players. Would you like to talk about maybe some awards that did not satisfy your thoughts?
I don't see. I think everything was deserved.
I was seeing things like goal of the season,
Mm.
and I saw some names like Bob
Like
was mentioned in goal of the season.
some names like
Bob,
Bob. Yes,
Bob,
you're not audible. You're not audible.
I'm trying so much to be audible. I don't know why.
You
There were names like Bob. Are you getting me right now?
yes, Bob.
Bob, Bruno Fernandes against Bournemouth, Cole Palmer against Everton, Garnacho against Everton also. Which one will you pick as the goal of the season?
I think two. I think the Kolpama one and
It's supposed to be one.
well, I would be conflicted between Kolpama and the Garnacho one. The Bruno Fernandes one and the Bob ones, a little bit of skill here and there.
Also, Caicedo is in the list.
Caicedo, which one against which club?
Against Bournemouth.
Maybe I can't just remember the scenario, but I think these are the four. The first four I can
So
have them in mind.
the last match of the Premier League, the other weekend, he scored from halfway.
Oh yeah, I have remember. That's given, man. Those are instances that happen in football. People have done that before. Rooney has done that before. Van Persie has done that before. Adam has done that before. It
But
happens. So I don't think anything unique about that. It is just a matter of mindset, and
but
belief in yourself and your power.
you know anything that happens in football, even the Garnacho one, Rooney did that before.
No, that the Ganacho one, don't just talk about it haywirely, my friend. That's a
More and
skill.
more.
Huh?
You see that Garnacho goal. Those are
Is
the kind of Andy Carroll used to score. You remember
that
Andy Carroll? Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll? Yes, I know Andy Carroll very well. Liverpool, West Ham, Stoke.
Yeah, he used to score such goals and also
I don't know. I don't know whether the problem is coming from you or kwangu huku. When you speak, you start on a very high note, and then it fizzles as you get along. Hello, Jack. Jack.